We're going to take a look at the announcements tool. This tool is an HTML widget that you can put on your website using HTML markup, and then you can place announcements in there. Some of them can be reoccurring, things like studio closures and similar things to that. And you can find this tool on the tools page under the free tools, and it's right here, announcements. This is actually very similar to the happy birthday widget. If you're interested in that, that tool's over here, and there is a video on how to use that. So I click on this announcements, and if you have multiple studios, it'll first prompt you to choose which studio you want the announcements for. On my little demo account here, I only have one studio set up. So it goes to that default one. And so here's where you can add announcements. Say, for example, I'm going to add an announcement, and I'll say that, and that there's a title, which is optional. And then I'll say, I'll go closed for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And so you can say, we will be closed for MLK Day on January 19. Of course, that day will change depending on the year. And then you can say, like, well, when do I want this announcement shown? I want it starting on January 1st. I'll leave it there. And of course, up through January 19th. So I'll change this to the 19th, so it'll display that. And I can have it repeat yearly if I want. Now, next year, it'll not necessarily be on the 19th, so I might want to turn this off so I can manually update it every year. Or I could have it repeat, maybe put something generic that just says, hey, we'll be closed for Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, because it always falls on a Monday. And then if for some reason you want to temporarily hide it, but you want to keep it, you can turn off the active flag. But I want it active, so I'm going to hit save. And of course, you can add all sorts of ones here if you always know, like all your holidays, but you can also do announcements about, hey, we're having signups for our competition team or whatever you have. Then there's a greeting message, which is sort of a header to this, important announcements, or you can delete it if you don't want a header or a greeting message at all. I'll leave the default. Then you can customize the theme, the color of the font, the background color, the typeface, so it matches your branding and your website. I have a video on how to do that. So watch that if you're interested there. And then you can save those settings if you've made any changes there. And then you're presented with this embed code, which you can highlight and copy, or just click this copy to clipboard. And then if you want to see what it looks like, you can click there. I've moved over here to my fake website for my fake dance studio Dream Dance. I have I'm in edit mode right now, and I have this happy birthday widget from my previous video that I mentioned. I just want this out of the way for now, so I'm going to just move this down here lower in the page, and we'll drop it right there. So because I want my important announcements to be right up here, top and center. So I'll click on add an element. I want the embedded code, and I want it to be an HTML embed, and then I will paste that in right there, and then click update and close this. And there's my announcements. Let me position this in a good little place here. There we go, and we'll go to preview. And there's the announcements. I'm going to want to resize this so I don't have that little scroll bar.